Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on Sokkanatha Venba, verse number 28. The verse goes this way. Kedum kalam vandal keduppai. Gadiyil vidum kalam vandal viduvai. Kodundavangal pannidinum பாவம் பயிற்றிடினும் ஆரேனும் அண்ணலே சொக்கநாதா. Today's verse is a beautiful verse that we should all be memorizing. The reason is, today we are able to see quite a lot of experience similar to what is illustrated in this particular verse. We would be seeing certain people who are very pious, very, very devoted, and they are not committing any kind of a crime. But still, we can see they go through a lot of suffering. On the other hand, contrarily, we can also see certain people who do a lot of bad things. They do only activities which is going to be very poisonous to the society as well as to the fellow human beings. Yet, they are given a good life. We may be wondering, why is this partiality in terms of life? But that is also because of Lord Shiva's grace. That is what today's verse is actually illustrating. If we look at this, it's a beautiful verse. They say, கொடுந்தவங்கள் பண்ணிடினும் கெடும் காலம் வந்தால் கெடுப்பை. Which means, certain people, they do only activities which is related to God. They completely devote themselves. And whenever you talk about any kind of, even if they have to go through like hunger for Lord Shiva's sake, they will be ready for it. Or if they have to go through any kind of hardship, they will be willingly doing it because of the love on Lord Shiva. Yet, if their experience is to talk about the other ways, as in they have to go through suffering, Lord Shiva will not have any kind of partiality, but will let them go through that experience. On the contrary, we call them as Panjama Padagangal, which means 5 great sins in this world. Certain people who keep committing these crimes on a daily basis, momentarily they do this crime. Yet we can see, Lord Shiva, if there is a need for them to be rescued from this life, Lord Shiva will, without hesitation, in a jiffy, he'll just pull them out. We are able to see quite a lot of saints around us in this kind of a manner, right? In young age, they would have gone through a lot of mistakes, and I wouldn't say mistakes could be a very small word. Probably they would have committed very serious crimes, yet they have become sages. They have become saints. Why so? It is all because of the experience they ought to go through. Whenever we are doing a deed, whether it is good or bad, when we talk about good deed, it becomes a blessing. When we do a bad deed, it becomes a suffering. So today we are going through happiness or suffering. It is because of the deeds that we have already done earlier. If we have done certain deeds, obviously because of cause and effect, we have to go through that suffering, whether good or bad, we have to go through that experience. If my karma is to go through that experience, but this particular birth, I'm doing all good things. But according to my previous karma, I have to go through some suffering. Lord Shiva will let me do that, but he won't just let go of me. If I have to go through scorching hot sun, what he will do is, he will put me through the sun, but at the same time, he'll give me a very comfortable, probably a dress or a sunscreen or even an umbrella or a proper shoes or something in order for me to handle the heat. That is what Lord Shiva's love and grace is all about. So we don't have to worry whether we are, because we are good and yet we are suffering or something, we don't have to be heartbroken. All we have to do is trust. Trust God, because he is always in the place where he will be giving only justice. He doesn't have any discrimination. Absolutely no discrimination. He gives everyone the necessary experience in order to get them back to his control. That is what verse number 28 is all about. So let's not lose heart just because we are going through certain sufferings right now. One thing we have to understand is this particular birth, we shouldn't be committing any sin. This particular birth, we should not do anything which is wrong. This particular birth, we need to completely be dedicated to Lord Shiva so that he can rescue us from this particular suffering. Lovely and wonderful verse. I'll come back again with the next verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama Tirchitrambalam.